Well, good morning. I'll call to order the regular meeting of Coachella Valley Water District Board of Directors, July 8th, 2025 here in Palm Desert. And would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Good morning, President Powell.
Here.
Vice President Estrada.
Here.
Director Bianco will be absent for today's meeting. Director Aguilar.
Here.
And Director Nelson.
Here.
Thank you.
Good. Good morning, everybody. Do we have any additions, deletions, or adjustments to the agenda for today?
No, sir, we do not.
Is there anybody from the public wishing to comment at this time? Don't see anybody. That'd be a no. And then on to the consent calendar, items 5A through G for consideration.
Mr. President, I move the approval of the consent calendar. Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Passed 4-0 with one absent. Public hearings. Wow. Okay, so this is the public hearing for the domestic water service and sewage and waste service availability assessments for Riverside and Imperial counties. And at this time, staff will provide a presentation on the domestic water service and sewage and waste service availability assessments to be assessed for fiscal year 25-26 through collection on the tax rolls. And making the presentation is Albert Galindo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Within improvement district numbers 6, 7, 8, 18, 19, and Service Area 35, the amount of the levy is $10 per year for each acre of land, or $10 per year for each parcel of land, less than 1 acre for domestic water service availability. Within improvement districts 10, 13, 14, 15, the amount of the levy is $30 per year for the acre of land, or $30 per year for each parcel of land, less than 1 acre for domestic water service availability. Within improvement district number 11, the amount of the levy is $23 per year for each acre of land, or $23 per year for each parcel of land, less than 1 acre for domestic water service availability. Within all sanitation improvement districts, the amount of the levy is $30 per year for each acre of land, or $30 per year for each parcel of land, less than 1 acre for each sewage and water service availability.
Thank you. This is the time and place fixed for the public hearing on the proposed domestic water service and sewage and waste service availability assessments in Riverside and Imperial counties for the fiscal year 25-26. Clerk Bermudez, have we completed proper notification of this hearing?
Yes, Mr. President, proper notification of the hearing was completed. The district noticed the hearing in the Desert Sun and the Imperial Valley Press.
Thank you, Council.
This public hearing is being held pursuant to a notice duly published in a newspaper as required by law within the counties that are subject to the annual domestic water service and sewage and waste service availability assessments for fiscal year 2025-26. These assessments are unchanged from previous years. The report containing the actual description of each parcel of land within the district upon which the assessments will be imposed has been filed with the clerk of the board.
Thank you. So I declare the public hearing open and will request that those wishing to speak please give your name, property location, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is anyone wishing to comment? Hearing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Clerk Bermudez, have we received any written communications regarding the availability assessments?
I am doing one final check of my emails before I say no. But no, we have not received any public comment for this.
Thank you. Council Frey, will you comment on the public hearing?
This public hearing has been held as required by law. The board has given the property owners the right to be heard. All legal requirements requirements have been satisfied, and the board can now proceed to making its decision on the establishment of the domestic water service and sewage and waste service availability assessments to be collected on the tax rolls.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-18, a resolution to levy domestic water service and sewage and waste service availability assessments and authorize transfer of assessments to the fiscal year 25-26 county tax rolls?
I'll make a motion, but I also have a.
Okay. Why don't we get it? See if we get a
Second.
Second by Aguilar. Okay. Yeah. Comments, please.
Yes, and I think I run into the same question every year, but just for clarification, this is not part of the fixed cost for service. These folks don't have service right now.
That is correct. Yes,
right? So it's not the fixed portion of the revenue.
That is correct.
So okay, and then as it relates to this table 1 here, where you have the improvement districts, and then where you have sewage and you call it water, and you say all. What's the difference between that all and then the ones that are not part of the all?
Well, the all would be the exception. Each improvement district is identified by the different various colors.
Okay.
So the all would be everything but what was highlighted within that district, outside of that district.
So the all is everything but the specific improvement districts that are called out?
That would be like the service area, yes, sir.
Okay, and why are some? Is it just because the way they were set up back in the day, they had an amount that they owed, and that's the? Is that gonna? I mean, does that go away at one point? I mean, I think it says here that once they establish service, they would no longer have to pay this availability charge.
Yes, sir, that is correct. Once a customer does connect to our water service or our sewer main, they are considered satisfied. So going forward, they would be charged the regular service charges.
All right, one more, and that's it. What's the main driver for the different assessed charge? You have some here that are $10, and the highest one is $30. Why is that?
The board of directors, I can't remember the year, several years back, assessed these at a different amounts. I believe according to the location. I don't have the background I don't know the background information to why there was, why one was charged 23 or why one was charged maybe 11. But that's something I can definitely get research for you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'd like to get more info on that, just on the side. Kind of interesting, but that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right. So for the vote, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Passed 4-0 with 1 absent. Good. Thank you, Albert. All right. On to action. Hi, Carla. Go ahead.
Good morning. This is our annual GAN appropriations limit. This one is for this a new fiscal year 25-26. Annually, the Department of Finance within the state of California provides us information, and every city, county, special district must do this GAN appropriation limit. It is subject to our annual audit from external auditors, and we, as of the notice date of the GAN limit calculation, which was June 9th of 2025, we have not received any inquiries regarding the calculation. We calculate every year. The appropriations limit is $71,375,447. And our general tax receipts subject to that limit total in our budget $67,537,733, which leaves us a capacity of a little over $3.8 million. It, in essence, just means that we still have the ability to collect additional property tax revenue, additional $3.8 million. If you ever wondered what the GAN limit stands for, I always wondered if that was an abbreviation. It is not an abbreviation. In 1974, Proposition 4 was actually supported by Paul Gann, and that's why it's called the GAN Appropriations Limit. I'm happy to take any questions you might have regarding the limit, but we're within capacity based on our projections for our budget. And we have never reached the limit either in the past.
Right. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve 8A?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed 4-0 with one absent. Go ahead on the next one. CalPERS.
Thank you. One of our favorite subjects, CalPERS. It is our largest liability the district holds, but every year we have the ability, we have to have a requirement, first of all, to make a payment for the unfunded accrued liability. We could make the payment on a monthly basis or a lump sum basis. If we do it on a lump sum basis, there is a 3.4% discount or savings. And so we work closely with Chandler Asset Management, our financial advisors, to see if it's worthwhile to make the lump sum payment, or would we earn a greater rate of return if we did the monthly payments. For this particular year, the savings would be $401,020, and the estimated interest rate would be about 4%. It ranges, it goes a little bit, starts at 4.29% and goes down to 3.8%, just on the projections from Chandler. And so those estimated earnings, investment earnings, if we kept the money and paid the the monthly payments, would be $230,780. And so therefore, taking advantage and doing the lump sum payment would still yield the district an additional savings of $720,426. So we are recommending that we do the lump sum payment. We do need to issue the payment by July 31st. The new actuarial report for CalPERS will be coming out at the end of this month, and we're going to be bringing that to the board in September. We did that the last 2 fiscal years just to review what the liability is, how it's changed, and we'll see how it goes. CalPERS, I believe, had a interest rate of return about 9.8% at the end of last fiscal year. This year's numbers have not been published yet. So, again, happy to take any questions you might have.
Carla, I would agree with this, but what is are we 100% funded, or are we down?
No, the current funding ratio is still at about 73%.
73.
That's what it was, I believe, as of June 30th of 2024. So as soon as we receive that new report at the end of July, beginning of August, we should have a little bit healthier funded ratio, only because the investment rate of return was higher than the anticipated 6.8%. So we'll bring that back and let you know exactly what that new funded ratio is.
Great, thank you.
All right. Is there a motion to approve 8B?
Yeah, I would move approval of item 8B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed 4-0 with one absent. Thanks, Carla. Okay, back to Albert. 8C. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am asking for the approval of the resolution 2020-25-19 from the board to transfer annual sewer charges to Imperial and Riverside counties. We will be transferring approximately $44.1 million, which includes a rate increase of 8.5%, in which the board approved on June 24th. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
No. Okay.
And I would recommend 2 separate motions, because these resolutions are going to 2 separate counties, and we have a record on the minutes of having
Okay.
2 separate votes.
All right, and I don't have the resolution numbers in front of me here.
The first one is 2025-19, and I believe that is for Riverside County, and then 2025-20 for Imperial County.
-20, so for Imperial. All right. Is there a motion to adopt resolution 2025-19 for Riverside County?
Move approval.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed 4-0 with one absent. And I'll move approval of the 2025-20 for Imperial County.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passed 4-0 with one absent. All right, Albert, thanks. On to written communications. I saw there was the one in there that was addressed to me.
Correct.
So
And that
that's
was
being-
resolved. Staff reached out to the individual, and he seemed
you.
satisfied with the response.
Thank you. All right, board general comments. Director Nelson.
No comments today, John.
All right.
No comments.
Estrada. And I will fall in line and have no comments. Are there any board requests for future agenda items? Hearing none. On to the board meeting reports. First one, Director Aguilar, May 23rd.
John, actually, we decided I had already reported on this item.
Yeah, okay. June 12th he's not here. On to Colorado River on June 25th.
We had a very short meeting to approve the upcoming budget, and
Okay.
lasted about 5 minutes.
Okay. All right, fair enough. And then Golf and Water, were you there?
We were
Vice
not,
President?
both of us were not able to attend.
Okay. How about the June 30th CVAG General Assembly?
I was not able to attend
Not on
either.
that one either. Okay, so June 30th, we did have a video call with CVILC. It's really interesting. Director Montazar, who was we were looking at to help with crop coefficients for different crops in the Coachella Valley, and thinking those might generate different numbers, but it really turned into more of a discussion of what the objectives are, that he's on some sort of advisory group. Were you on the call, Peter?
I was not. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I don't know him. You probably know him. I don't know him. And anyways, he seemed very tuned in and responsive, and hopefully he'll be a good sort of voice for our Coachella Valley
Oh, good.
irrigators on some group. I don't know exactly, something with the state board. I don't remember what they call the group. Anyways, that was that meeting.
It's a expert panel that they've put together to address, some of these issues for the state board. So it's a pretty big deal in terms of trying to develop these crop coefficients and what the science might say about what the state board's ruling on from a industry perspective input. So yeah,
Right,
and
yeah.
it's an important.
And I really liked how he's like, well, what is the objective? Once you develop this, what are you going to do with it? And I thought that's really where the conversation got interesting. It was good.
Yeah.
Any other meetings?
No.
None. Is there a motion to approve per diem for the meetings reported on?
So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Pass 4-0. General Manager report.
Yes, sir. Just a couple of things. Later this week on Thursday from 9 to about 3, we've got a California 440 meeting, Colorado River Board members to talk about how California might develop its its contribution plan. Sorry, I almost said conservation, but contribution plan. And then there's another meeting on July 25th in San Diego, again from 9 to 3 o'clock. We've got the second meeting of the Coachella Valley Power Association coming up on the 28th from 3 to 5. I currently have a copy of the draft CVPA IID agreement. it doesn't really talk about funding, which is probably the item that I'm most interested in. I have talked with Tom Kirk, told him I'd try and get my comments back to him today. He wants to publish it. Staff's basically heading out. I did do a quick glance. I didn't see anything in there that would impact us directly. It has to do mostly with, you know, how to decide projects, priorities, how the funding mechanism would generally work once they establish a funding mechanism. Essentially, they're going to be looking at providing some type of surcharge onto the IID bills, similar to the deal that Indio currently has in place to fund 2 substations and 7 transformers. I'm particularly curious as to how those surcharges may or may not impact CVWD electrical billing, since we tend to operate in a number of different municipalities. So, curiousness abound. That's all I got, sir.
Thank you. Council report.
Yes, we have, some time, so I thought I'd do 2 hours AB 1234 training.
We do have we have time for that.
Just wanted to mention briefly, I'm sure you've heard about the new CEQA bills that were signed by the governor and go into effect immediately. There's 2. One is AB 130, but the one that really applies as much to the water district would be SB 131. The takeaway from these 2 CEQA bills is that they really focus on housing and trying to encourage housing development, low-income housing, and trying to streamline that approval process. In regard to what we do here, there are new CEQA exemptions that extend not only to a disadvantaged community water system or state small water system, but also sewer service projects as well. It also applies to agricultural employee housing projects. It applies to wildfire risk reduction projects, which include defensible space clearance and fuel breaks. It applies to right-of-way projects for broadband development. It applies to updates to the state's climate adaptation strategy. The CEQA exemptions apply to public park and non-motorized recreational trail facilities, daycare, health center, food banks, maintenance facilities for electrically powered high-speed rail, as well as a proposed rail passenger station for a high-speed rail system. The main CEQA exemption here is that in the past, as you know, there's a categorical exemption, or you have to do a negative declaration, or you have to do an EIR. It used to be with a categorical or statutory exemption. If there was one part of that analysis that did require environmental review, then the entire project had to be done under a negative declaration or an EIR. This statute says that if a project meets all of the criteria for an exemption, except for one, the agency only has to do the environmental analysis on that one element without moving on to the other levels of analysis. So that's a pretty big deal. Also, as part of this bill being passed was the condition that these exemptions, or the projects that use these exemptions, be sure to use prevailing wages for the work being done, or a project labor agreement, and the apprenticeship program. So that was part of the negotiation with labor groups at the time, as in order to get these CEQA exemptions done. So there is some change in the law. It does apply to some of our projects. Most of it focuses on the categorical and statutory exemptions. Most of it applies to housing developers and trying to get that spurred on. But it is some progress in terms of the level that CEQA plays in what we do. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Are there any departmental reports?
Not today, sir.
Seeing none. At this time, the board will recess into closed session to consider the one item listed on the agenda, and we will then reconvene to report out. Okay, well, we officially are reconvened in the regular meeting. We do not have any reportable action from closed session, and with no further business, we are adjourned.